Kamala Harris's presidential campaign just made their biggest mistake yet. What is up, people of the internet? It is me, Real American, back again with a new video, and today we have to talk about the 2024 presidential election because Kamala Harris has finally unveiled a part of her agenda. Yeah, that's right. It's been over a month since she started running for president, and before yesterday, she's announced nothing. No official proposals. The closest thing we got was, indirect statements from advisors. Yeah, that's right. Before yesterday, we heard nothing from Kamala Harris. Well, actually, that's a lie. We heard no taxes on tips from her, which, by the way, that's just a policy from Trump. Either way, before yesterday, she had nothing. Nothing official, just, oh yeah, anonymous sources say Kamala Harris stands for this. Well, that changed because yesterday, she finally announced a part of her platform. And of course, it relates to the economy. And my goodness, this is bad. Like, I knew it was going to be bad because it's Kamala Harris and the Democrat Party. Of course, they're going to propose some insane stuff. But I never thought it would be this bad. I mean, for crying out loud, virtually every news outlet, not just Fox, but the Washington Post, CNN, NBC, virtually every single one of them shat on this plan because it was that bad. Even CNN had to admit, okay, this is going way too far. Let's just look at what she proposed. Now, the one halfway decent part of this economic agenda is, funny enough, a copy and paste from J.D. Vance. Yeah, that's right. The only good part they just stole from Vance. And that's, of course, the child tax credit. And again, I support the child tax credit. I think that's common sense. Most people would agree, yeah, we need a child tax credit in this country. We need to boost up birth rates. That's just common sense. And she's proposing $6,000 for newborns. Okay, I can get behind that. But the problem is, this is just a copy and paste of Vance's proposal. Instead of $5,000, it's $6,000. Again, that's a good thing, but all you did was just copy and paste what J.D. Vance proposed, what, a week ago? AKA the same thing you did with no taxes on tips. It's unbelievable, but that is what Kamala Harris's campaign did here. But outside of this plan is bad. Like, this is good, I'm not denying that, but all you did was just copy and paste what Trump is supporting. Isn't that funny that the good parts of this policy, this platform, they're just Trump proposals? Makes you really wonder. But outside of that, this plan sucks. And the biggest part of the plan that everyone's talking about is the quote-unquote price gouging ban. Listen, I don't care who you are. If this goes through, but by some miracle, she somehow wins and she somehow passes this, I guarantee you within a year of this passing, there's going to be food shortages. Because it's that bad. The plan calls for what is described as the first ever federal ban on price gouging on food and groceries. Yeah, that's how they're going to solve inflation. Not by cutting government spending, not by doing common sense stuff like that. No, we're going to ban price gouging. On paper, that's a good thing. Like, okay, price gouging's immoral, it shouldn't be allowed. But people began to look at the numbers and they realized, wait a minute. Price gouging's not the reason that food costs have gone up so much. Like, look at this. This is the profit margin of grocery stores in the last 5 years. Yeah. That's a big profit margin. No, it's 1%. I really cannot believe that the Harris campaign thinks a 1% profit margin, that's causing the inflation. No, it's not. That is absurd. I'm not denying that some companies are probably price gouging, which is bad. But even if that's the case, do you really believe that's causing the inflation crisis? It's not. It's causing like maybe 2% of inflation growth. There's something like that. Something so small that it doesn't even matter. If you propose a price gouge ban, you're still going to have insane amounts of inflation. That's what I'm trying to tell people. It doesn't matter if you ban price gouging or not. You're not going to see any noticeable change. But even then, it's price control. I know Democrats, they're saying, oh, no, it's not actually price control. It's banning price gouging. But you notice how it's super vague. Like, what do you consider price gouging? Do you consider it a certain profit margin? Do you consider it a certain percent? What? They don't tell you, and that's why I'm saying it's just price control. If they're this vague, what else could it be? Like, seriously, what else could it be? It's just price control. They're gonna say, oh yeah, the cost of milk cannot be more than like $3 or whatever, which if they do that, that's gonna cause even more problems. Yes, you might see costs go down a little bit short term, but long term, you're gonna have food shortages. You're gonna have so many more problems. That's why this plan is getting shat on by everyone. Look at this. CNN, they're saying Harris's plan to stop price gouging could create more problems than solve. Washington Post, the Times demands serious economic ideas. Harris supplies gimmicks. Kamala Harris's grocery price gouging plan is riddled with problems, experts say. These are not Republican or conservative outlets. These are CNN, the Washington Post, Newsweek, and they're saying, yeah, this proposal sucks. It's price control. It's going to cause even more problems. Like, seriously, I cannot believe the Harris campaign thought this was a good idea. And it just keeps getting worse. Her plan for affordable housing, on paper, it sounds good. Build more housing units. But the problem is they don't tell you what type of housing is this. They say 3 million new housing units. Okay, what are they? Are they low-income housing? Are they apartments? Are they actual houses? What are they? They don't tell you. They just say 3 million new housing units. Yeah, there's no explanation, no detail, just generic stuff like that. But you might be saying, well, that's maybe a bit nitpicky. It doesn't really matter. It's 3 million new housing units. I still want to know what type of housing they are, but fine, whatever. You could argue maybe she meant these are actual houses, not just low-income housing. Fine, whatever. Well, the problem is, that's not going to solve inflation, especially with this proposal. Like, the first part, okay, build more housing, that's common sense. But on top of that, the Harris campaign believes, you know, we are dealing with some bad inflation right now. So the way we fight inflation is by spending even more money. This is not a joke. The Harris campaign is saying, we will give first-time home buyers $25,000 in down payment assistance. That's not a misquote. $25,000. And not just for, you know, new families. Like, okay, if it's a new family, you know, they're young and, you know, they're getting into the workforce and all of that, that's one thing. But if you read more into it, it sounds like anyone that's a first-time home buyer just gets $25,000. So guess what's going to happen? The average cost of a house is going to go up $25,000. That's what happens every single time they propose stuff like this. Yes, you get $25,000 if you buy a new house. You're a first-time home buyer, all right, you get $25,000. Guess what? It's going to cost $25,000 more. So you're just stuck, and that's going to cause even more inflation. So you're screwed even more in the long term. This is their plan. Not by, you know, fixing the actual inflation crisis, by reducing energy costs, by tackling the cost of living. No, we're just going to throw more money at the problem. And this plan is a complete joke, but it seems like there's a lot of backlash happening right now against the Harris campaign. I showed you earlier, virtually every news outlet, they're saying this plan sucks. Like, we're talking about the Washington Post, CNN, Newsweek. They're all saying this plan has some big problems. You don't fix inflation by throwing more money at the problem. You fix it by cutting spending, by reducing energy costs. That's how you solve it. That's the basic way to solve inflation. But no, to them, that's too simple. To them, we can't do that. So instead, throw more money at the problem, which in turn is going to cause even more problems. How is this going to reduce inflation? How is any of this going to fix the economy? Because all I see here is massive problems. You're going to see housing go up way more just because everyone gets $25,000. Her price gouging ban is price control. And you're going to end up with food shortages. And the only good parts was no taxes on tips and, of course, the child tax credit. But these are Trump proposals. Trump advanced proposed these weeks ago. Trump, I think, proposed no taxes on tips like two to 3 months ago. The only good parts are Trump proposals. On top of that, they want to limit prescription drug costs, which is good, but which is another Trump proposal. But they want to do it in such an insane manner that it's going to cause even more problems. It's like, what are we doing? Your entire platform is based off of insanity that the average voter is going to realize, oh, I hope at least realize that this plan's insane. If they don't, we're in deep trouble. The Republican Party has to hammer Harris on this daily. Because if this actually passes, like any of this, especially the price gouging ban, the, quote unquote, helping first time home buyers, which that's going to hurt them. If this stuff passes, we are going to end up with way more inflation, with way more problems. The cost of living is going to get even worse, and the standard of living is going to go down dramatically. What a good combination. Inflation goes up, standard of living goes down. That's a great combination. This is not good. And I'm hoping that people see through this and they realize, hey, wait a minute. You propose ending inflation by throwing more money at the problem. That's not going to work. That's going to cause even more problems. And it doesn't seem like anyone in the Harris campaign understands this. None of them know anything about inflation, it seems like. They just think, oh, throw more money, the economy will grow even faster. Is that really their plan? Just keep throwing money at the problem. At some point, you're going to do that, and inflation's going to go up like 10%. And the economy is going to crash. Sorry, but true. It is not a good combination what we're in right now. You have a shit economy, still very bad inflation rates, and now the Democratic nominee is proposing ending inflation by spending even more money. What utter insanity is this? Anyways, folks, thank you so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy this video, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, follow the social media accounts in the description down below, and of course, join the channel today. Godspeed to all of you.